Welcome to the Jaron Jarvis channel. I am Jaron Jarvis. Today, I would like to introduce to you, Everyone in My City is Gone, Part 2. Part 1. Well, the night passed without any event. I was quite tired after yesterday's exploring, so I fell asleep as soon as I laid down. I half expected to wake up and realize it was all a dream. I woke up at around 7 a.m., judging by the sun's position. At first I was confused as to where I was. Then it all came rushing back to me. I quickly got up and raced out of the cafe. I wasn't gonna waste precious daylight. I wanted to explore as much as I could so that I could get some answers. I kept wandering around for a good few hours, trying to find both food and knowledge. Another weird thing I noticed was that the doors to many homes were blown open, as if someone had busted through them. This was more common in the residential areas farther away from the cafe, so finding food today was much easier than yesterday. At around midday, I was entering the 10th house so far. I took one step in and then heard something. So far, it had been completely silent, save for the wind occasionally whooshing past. I silently tiptoed in to hear the sound better. It sounded like someone sobbing. It seemed like the sound was coming from upstairs, so I slowly crept up the stairs. I reached a corridor with doors on either side. I put my ear near each, trying to find the source of the noise. When I found it, I opened the door just enough to see inside the room. At the corner of the room, there was a woman with her head down, holding her knees and sobbing. Excuse me, miss," I said softly as I didn't want to alarm her. She quickly looked up at me with an expression of bewilderment. Her eyes were red and puffy, as if she'd been crying for hours. In a split second, she got up and ran towards me. I was too surprised to even move. She stood in front of me and said, "Who are you? How did you survive?" "Survive what?" I replied. "You don't know? Listen, lady, all I know is that I woke up one day and everyone was gone. Do you know what was going on?" At that moment, her eyes began to fill with tears again. I put a hand around her shoulder and tried to comfort her. I gave her some of the food and water that I had found while searching. After a while, she had seemed to have regained her composure. She then started speaking. She said her name was Clara. She was 20 years old, and she was living with her parents. She was studying in her room when she heard a loud bang from downstairs, which was presumably the door, followed by panicked shouting and what sounded a blast of a shotgun. She heard her father shout, "Clara, hide!" before another shotgun blast rang through. She quickly hid under her bed and waited. After what seemed like an eternity, her door slowly creaked open. She saw a creature enter the room that was unlike anything she had seen before. She could only see its feet, but they weren't like human feet. They were jet black, almost impossibly so. She felt some kind of power emanating from them that made her even more scared. On the black skin she saw vague shapes shifting and swirling. The creature's entire skin seemed to be constantly moving. She stayed silent. Her heart was beating out of her chest. After a while, the creature left her room. She didn't dare come out from under the bed until about an hour passed. Still very scared, she crawled out from under the bed. She crept downstairs toward the front door, which was now hanging by its hinges. Her parents were gone, and the only trace of them was a light gray powder on the floor. After telling me this, Clara clutched her side like she was in pain. I rushed to support her and held her up. After the pain subsided, I asked her what it was. She said she didn't know. I just left it at that. We got out of the house and headed towards the cafe together. There, I gave her some more of my food. She seemed tired, and I was pretty worn out too, so we decided to sleep for a while. When I woke up, I realized it was already nighttime. Clara was already up, and was looking out into the open. I was about to stand up when suddenly, I felt a sharp pain in my side. I wanted to cry out, but suppressed it. Clara seemed stressed as it is, and I didn't want to worry her even more. I lifted up my shirt and examined the area. There was a small black bruise that seemed to be swollen. I didn't remember getting that bruise. I just brushed it off as a random occurrence. Didn't Clara feel pain at the same place? I thought. It was very odd that we both felt something at the same location. I thought of asking her about it, but realized that it would scare her even more. I'll let her rest for today, and I'll ask her about it tomorrow.